All right, we're talking about open theism. That is the idea that God then can change his mind in response to what human beings do sometimes. God is not a sort of fixed, concrete entity. He's able to think and change in response to what human beings do. So there in 30, Hezekiah stopped the upper outlet for water from Gihon and redirected it. Hezekiah prospered in all his works. Nevertheless, in respect to the ambassadors of the Babylonian officials who were sent to him to investigate the sign that had occurred in the land, God abandoned him as a test to know all that was in his heart. That surely tells us that God did not know what was in his heart until he tested him. That's perfectly reasonable. God makes and made every human being, and he can test him. He can put him to the test by bringing various circumstances into his life. And in this case, Hezekiah needed to be tested. God wasn't quite sure what he would do. But when Hezekiah did not do well in this regard, then he had to be disciplined and punished for his wrong. That's called open theism. Give God the ability to choose what to do. Remember the text in Genesis, of course, where God was shattered that he'd even made man. He was sorry that he'd made man. He didn't imagine they would be as evil as they are. That's open theism. It's a liberating idea. God has the ability to do anything he likes. And one of those things is that he can change his mind on some occasion, not often. And so other things, and I should say other things like the second coming, the parousia, are not changeable. God is going to send Jesus back. That's fixed in the plan. But in other more detailed local events, God can change his mind in response to what people do, either good or bad. To the wicked, those who are not obeying God or Jesus, I warn them that they're going to die. If, however, here's the condition, if they, the wicked, turn away, they repent and start doing things right, that's to say, believing in the gospel of the kingdom, which is Jesus' first command, they begin to do what's just and right, believing in Mark 1:14 to 15, believing in the gospel of the kingdom, and then in this particular case, returning pledges, restoring stolen goods. As you remember, the character in the New Testament did, he promised to give back things that he'd taken illegally from people. Then they'll surely live. God removes the death penalty threat from them, and they do well. That's wonderful.